Flight of number 210 Squadron, and Catalinas were regular sights in the skies of these parts during World War II. It was developed in the run-up to the impending war when the US Navy recognized a need for a new patrol bomber to counter the potential Japanese threat in the Pacific. At that stage it was a pure flying boat, and the prototype first flew in March 1935. The design was further developed after that, and the XPBY-1 prototype of the patrol bomber variant took to the air in May of the following year, entering service in October of '36. Catalinas went on to be used extensively in almost all theatres of World War II, initially in the Pacific, then in the Atlantic and the Indian Ocean. And their exploits were legion. US Navy PBYs sighted the Japanese fleet making towards Midway, and it was a Kanso, a Canadian-built version from the Royal Canadian Air Force, that spotted the Japanese invasion force heading for Ceylon, and thereby helped save the Royal Navy fleet in the Indian Ocean. North Atlantic convoys that helped keep Britain supplied during World War II. Now as the aircraft comes in towards us, you can see the wingtip mounted floats have been put down. The first RAF Catalinas came into service with units based in Northern Ireland in 1941, and 75 years ago, the first major success for the type in RAF service was the location of the German battleship Bismarck, in which, as we were saying earlier, the Swordfish played such a crucial role in its destruction. In 1944, meanwhile, 2 Catalina pilots were awarded the Victoria Cross, Flying Officer John Cruikshank of number 210 Squadron, and a Canadian, Flight Lieutenant David Hornell of 162 Squadron, both of them for pressing home attacks against U-boats while under heavy fire. The action for which Cruikshank received the VC was remarkable. He was hit in 72 places on his body and his navigator was killed, yet still they managed to bring the Catalina back from the middle of the north, as operated by the 5th Emergency Rescue Squadron at Halesworth in Suffolk in early 1945. The specific aircraft that it represents, appropriately named Miss Pickup, and this one has the nose art applied on the fuselage side. That was on the 31st of March 1945. They weren't rescued, safely I might add, until the 4th of April. Built aircraft with slightly more power than the German originals. So, here in front of us, starting his display, we have Gavin Hunter on the Casa 131B Jungmann.
interview. Send the card, all right? Thank you.
From the Jungmann was developed a single-seat advanced trainer variant, the Bücker Jungmeister and Beate Uhse. Many of them were built under license by the Aero company in Czechoslovakia, also in Switzerland by Dornier, and later by Casa in Spain. In fact, the Spanish Air Force Jungmanns stayed in service until 1968, and this is one of them. It was built in 1957 by Casa. 11 years later, it was retired before being sold into civilian hands in 1970 and moved to Germany. The aircraft was left in storage, dismantled, however, until 2010, when it was recovered in Stuttgart and moved to Archerfield, where it was completely rebuilt. Gavin Hunter, the owner and pilot, told me that inside one of the lower wings he found a signature from the engineer dated 1941, so it could well be that some of the airframe at least comes from an original German-built Jungmann. And a wing rock to say goodbye. Another beautiful display as we've enjoyed every year for the last few years here from Archerfield based